If you've been wanting to get into timeline shifting, quantum jumping, quantum manifestation, I'm going to give you a breakdown of what's going to happen before you make that leap so that you are fully prepared. Okay? So, what you are doing is you are really shifting into an entirely new person, like a new reality, a new consciousness level. When you are manifesting stuff through the quantum realm, the Akasha realm, you are matching up with a quantum twin version of you out there in the etheric field, out in the cosmos, okay? Because every time you make a decision, there's like a split version of you, okay? Parallel realities, if you will, parallel lives. Okay, so you are matching up with their vibration and frequency, and you are becoming them. What that does, it is disturbs your ego and your inner children, especially if you have abandonment trust wounds, if people have hurt you in the past, if you had like rocky foundations, like with safety and security, because what your ego is here to do is here to keep you safe. It's here to keep you in comfortability. Even if that new reality is going to be a million times better on the other side, your ego is like, I don't know what that looks like. That is an unknown variable, right? Like, who are we becoming? Because that's what you're really asking your inner children and your ego to do. They're like, I need you to change on a DNA cellular structure, okay? And we want to bring our ego with us because our ego helps us grow. It helps us evolve. We got to have a backboard. We got to have contrast, okay? It's a good thing. Kind of like your limiting beliefs are not there to hurt you or harm you. Like, they want to help you evolve, okay? But again, if you have inner children with like these deep wounds that have not been healed yet, or we have unprocessed emotions, you know, it is just scary. Like, change can be really scary, even if it's good change, okay? Because it's going against your programming, what you've been taught, how you've been shown that reality works per other people's perception, awareness, right? And their trauma projections or whatever. And so when you were installing new programming into your subconscious, your ego and your inner children sometimes are going to be like, what are you doing? Right? And that's where you have to come in as a higher self and explain to them, like, hey, I know that I'm asking a lot of y'all right now, but if you can trust me, trust us, fully believe and know in ourselves, I promise you on the other side it's going to be a lot better, right? So I'm currently going through this where I told myself I am shifting into a different person. And I've done this many times, but this always happens, the exact same process, okay? We're gonna get into it. So I said to myself, I do not have to work for money. Like, money comes to us easily and effortlessly. Like, whatever I choose to do that also brings me money is great, but I just vibe. I get paid to exist, okay? And I'm really leaning into that, like very much leaning into that, okay? And what happened was, and I knew this was gonna happen, but it doesn't make it any less, you know, scary or intense, is anytime that you were trying to change, shift, install new programming, ask this of your inner children and ego, your ego is going to fight tooth and nail to keep you in comfortability. It is going to run every single fear thought that you could possibly think of, every limiting belief, every what if. It's going to run through every single scenario, because on a physiology level, that's what it's supposed to do, right? Because back in the day when we were cave people, okay, like, we needed to run through every single scenario to survive. Now, that is something that has not exactly grown and evolved with us. Like, we're still kind of like in that primitive state with our ego. That is something actually, though, that you can heal and jump consciousness levels with. Like, back in the past, like, I was living through my ego completely, okay? And letting fear and anxiety just completely run my life and be at the wheel of consciousness. Also living through my inner child consciousness. And when I say that, when we experience like behavioral patterns and triggers that keep us stuck or in undesirable, you know, scenarios in life, it's because you're stuck at the inner child consciousness. They're literally like taking over. You don't become like a robot or anything, but you're looking through their lenses of unprocessed trauma. And so that's why you have to come in as a higher self and help your inner children heal, to release those energetic cores from past narratives, because sometimes they don't realize that you're the higher self and you're living in a different reality, okay? But anyway, so the behavioral patterns and triggers when you are challenging those, your ego will grip onto you and try and make it as difficult as possible for you to make that shift. Okay, like I said, this every time I do this, it's just bringing all this stuff up. Okay. It is like basically me having to go in as the higher self multi-dimensional form and speak to Sage. That's me. If this is your first time meeting me, hello. I have to talk to Sage, human Sage, because I'm a human being, but I'm also a multi-dimensional being. I'm in the soul contract, but I'm also observing the soul contract, right? And when you're making decisions through your ego lens, you're gonna have one type of reality, okay? And sometimes it's easier said than done to be in the higher self form, but you can, I don't want to say like train yourself to do that, but basically that's what I've done. 555 on my timer is I have learned how to check out of Sage and her ego and get up connected to myself as source and the creator. Now, can I stay up there? No, because that's not how life works. Okay, like I have learned how to hold myself up there for longer periods of time so I can view and observe and respond in my reality instead of react from like emotional trauma or, you know, just all the things, or my ego. But I have to make time to connect with that version of me so that my ego isn't running 24/7, because when that happens, that's not good. Okay, because that's when like all the anxiety comes on, and the anxiety rabbit holes and the thought loops and all of the negative energy in our body, and now we feel like doo-doo, right? And so all throughout my day I do these like energy boosts to get myself back into that higher consciousness frequency. Now, how the quantum jumping works is the longer that you can embody these states over here and that higher level, higher perspective, and walk your inner children and ego with you and be like, okay, well, we're just gonna be this person for a minute. Okay, just for a minute. Okay, now 30 minutes, right? You are getting used to your quantum twin out there in the etheric field. You're getting used to being them. You're getting used to having their thoughts and their feelings and their emotions, their mannerisms, the beliefs that they hold about themselves, and then you lock it in. Like it becomes your actual reality. You become that person. And there's a lot of different ways that you can do that, right? Like meditation is great, or active meditations if you're neurospicy and you have a hard time sitting and, you know, being in your imagination. Listening to children's meditations are great because that gets you in your imagination escape. I also, like, I'm about to go on a walk because stress, cortisol hormones don't just go away. Like, you got to get that stuff out. It attaches to self-limiting beliefs very easily, and then you start getting anxiety. So we got to do something for our physical vessel, our human self, right? Journaling is great. Listening to other people on Tube that are in the reality that you want to be in, and listening to their wisdom and guidance, like listening to Reiki and light language videos, just anything that is going to help lift your vibration and frequency up so that you can get out of that spiral, and then talking to your ego and inner children, because now you're the higher self instead of being them, right? We want to create safety for them and explaining like, hey, I know that this is kind of like a rocky situation right now and what I'm asking you, but I want you to know that I got you. I love you unconditionally. Okay, and we are going to walk into this new life together, and we're going to do it incrementally until we can fully pivot, shift, quantum jump. Okay. So if you need some help processing through this, I highly suggest signing up for my free 8-day chakra balancing series. We do EFT tapping to reprogram your subconscious and move all that stuck and stagnant energy, and so that you can feel better as you make this jump and make it a little easier. If you are watching this on TikTok, you can go to the top of my page and sign up there. If you are on Tube, you can go in the description box or show notes down here. Or if you want some one-on-one help as well, I love helping people through their quantum shifts or their dark nights of the soul, their tower moments, because sometimes you need an outside perspective to show you that you're capable of making it through. Same thing, you go to the top of my page or down here in the description below, and I'd love to hear how your quantum jumping is going right now, if this really resonated with you, or if it helped you hearing somebody else's experience so you can see it through a different lens. And I love you. Have a great day.